Hey everybody. I know one of my previous videos I said the motor blew up on this one. So G Junior is taking the motor off of that red one over there and going to put it on to the black one because what's wrong with the red one?
Red one's kind of rough around the edges. Makes a good parts mower.
Yeah, so but the motor runs, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right. So when he was pulling the motor off, one of the bolts broke. As you can see, it's hanging out through the top here. So we sprayed it with some WD-40 and have been letting it soak. Let's get this out of the way. So we've been spraying it down, and we have these brand new Matco vice grips that we're going to try to get on here and see if we can pull this way to get it off. So let me get these on here and we'll come back. All right, well, we put the vice grips on, but it's not moving, so we got the little tiny propane torch out and he's starting to heat it up. Is there any way that we can take and I usually like to heat them up from the bottom. Sorry people, I had the camera point from the bottom up instead of holding it up, but whatever, just keep going. And what you want to do on this is you want to heat the surrounding metal, not the bolt. I can't believe this is like a hardened bolt and these vice grips keep sliding off. So we're going to keep heating it up and see if we can get it loose. Just keep heating it up and we'll come back. All right, we got tired of, well, I got tired of sitting over there bending over. So we brought it up on the workbench. As you can see, we have the propane torch propped up heating it. And we sprayed it with some more WD-40, and we finally got the right vice grips on it. These vice grips here are not good for grabbing a bolt. These aren't really either. So we got the duckbill ones that are flat. They seem to be holding it a lot better. Here, let's see. How long have you said we've been heating it up now? 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We've probably been heating it up about 10 minutes. So. Oh, it's starting to move. Can you see that? See right there? It's starting to move. See the dirt that's falling out? Just keep putting heat on it. Now, if you notice, I'm wobbling it back and forth to get that rust out of there. But it is beginning to move. So just like in one of my previous videos, now of course this is aluminum, so it's going to take a lot longer to heat up. We're just using a propane torch, but now at least it's moving. Sometimes just a little bit of heat is all it takes. Can I pull that away first? Pull the heat away for a second. Let me try to get some. That's going to smoke. But let me try to get. I'm trying to get some of this lubricant down in there. It's still moving. Now those are what I'm talking about by the duckbill pliers. You can see I'm already messing them up, but sometimes you got to mess your tools up to get stuff out. So, yeah, they got a warranty on them. The problem is these bolts are like hardened and the channel locks keep sliding off the end. See, that time I didn't even get a grab on it. And this pair is getting very hot, but at least we got it moving now. So we'll go ahead and put a bunch of stuff on it. Now we'll go back to a pair that's cooled down that maybe they can handle.
Want to turn the torch off?
No, not yet. We might have to reheat it. Yeah, you can go touch. So I'm just wiggling it and moving it. And of course, these are these weird bolts that they're like triangle. There's threads there, and threads there that make the contact. They're like
self-tapping.
They're like self-tappers. So, and they're hardened. I'm surprised that bolt broke. Of course, I've messed up the thread, so I can't thread it out the normal way. So I'm going to go ahead and I checked to make sure that where the head of the bolt broke off, that it wasn't on the shoulder part. I do not believe it's on the shoulder part, because it is coming. So, all right, let's continue working on this, and I'll come back after we get the bolt out. All right, well, we had the bolt moving back and forth, but these channel locks just can't keep a grip on these hardened bolts. So we heated it up and we soaked it down. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to take it to work, and we'll put a nut on top of this, and I'll weld it so we have something to really grab the bolt to get it out. So we'll continue this on tomorrow. It'll just be a few seconds for you. Okay, finally we got the motor up to work. It's been probably a month. It's probably a month. It's been a month. So what we were working on last time is that this bolt was broken off and we could get it to move, but it kept stopping. And then it's a hardened bolt, so the channel locks kept slipping off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this bolt here and we're gonna put it on top of there, and then we're gonna weld that in and then use a wrench to get it out the rest of the way. So we wanted to make sure that there was no gas in the carburetor, because we're going to be welding in this area. The gas tank is empty, cap is on. It does have a fuel filter in it. We're probably going to take possibly this line off of here so we don't melt the fuel filter. We went ahead and pulled the float bowl off. As you can see, there is a little bit of dirt in here, not a lot, but there was no gas. It smells like gas, but we're going to clean this up and put this back on. And then we're going to wrap this thing up with some rags to try to keep the fumes down. I don't think there's really any fumes, but I just want to try to be sure that we don't ignite the vapors. And it's still pretty cool out, so I don't think we'll have a problem. So he's going to clean this up, put this back on the carburetor, and I'm going to clean this up. So I've already taken brake clean, and I have blasted the top of this broken bolt off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to physically get the torch, my little propane torch, and I'm going to heat it up to burn the rest of the impurities off, and then I'm going to sand it, because we've been soaking it down with WD-40 and transmission fluid to try to get it to free up. So we want to get that thing clean so the weld will stick to it. So I didn't realize he didn't show me the main jet that goes into the bottom of the carburetor. This is the main jet. It is basically, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, is that hole is half plugged. This side looks okay. So we're also going to clean up the main jet real good before we reassemble the carburetor. All right, we got the float bowl back on. There's no gas in it. We're going to wrap a rag around it. And what I also did is I took a file and I filed the head of the broken bolt off. So now there goes the nut. I'm going to get the welder out. I'm going to zap it and see if we can get the broken bolt out. Alrighty, I'm getting ready to weld, so I want to pass a little safety tip on to you that I see a lot of YouTubers just grab the welding gun and just start welding, no protection. Okay, that is not good. All right, I have a welding jacket on. I'm going to put my welding gloves on. I have my welding helmet on. Okay, I know you're just going in there real fast, but the light of the spark damages your eyes. And also, too, another problem that I've had is I've actually gotten injured by doing that. I didn't have my gloves on. I was welding something that I shouldn't have been, and I got burned. So, safety first. Always wear the proper safety equipment when you're going to weld. I have the fire extinguisher here, ready to go in case something catches on fire. I have picked up all the rags, and anything flammable is out of the way. So I should be ready to weld. So just back up, and I'm going to go ahead and try to weld the nut on right now. And watch your eyes, all right?
Mm-hmm.
come on in and get a shot of the nut. So basically, I plug welded the nut to the stud. Now, go get a 17, here, let me have the camera. Go get a 17 millimeter. What this also does too, is it heats the bolt up. So that looks like a pretty good weld, so hopefully it won't break off. Sometimes they do. But that's why I heated the bolt up with my torch to try to burn the impurities out of all the WD-40. And then I also used,
so I'd go...
Yeah, this way. Towards me. You can keep going. Go on. Is it going or is it tight now?
It's tight.
Okay, then wiggle it back and forth. There we go. All right, come on. Try pushing toward me a little bit. Is it still tight?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we got a good weld on it. All right. Let me let's put the motor in a different position, and we'll start getting some oil on the backside to see if we can start getting it moving. All right. I sprayed it down with some transmission fluid, and now we're gonna start working it back and forth. Up there it goes. It just broke free. They use these nice hardened bolts, but I don't understand why they break off. It makes no sense to me.
Because I think the aluminum and the heat from the engine kind of
react to each other.
It welds to each other.
I don't want to touch this because I know it's super hot. There we go. All right, there is the broken bolt out of the engine. So that's the way to do these. If they're sticking through far enough, you just weld the nut on the back side, and that was a pretty good weld, and then they'll come out. All right, everybody, so now we have the broken bolt out, so now he'll continue mounting the engine on his old frame, and we might change the carburetor, or we might just go ahead and finish rebuilding this one. Alrighty, we'll be back with this one once we get it the rest of the way back together. Alrighty, well, we made it home, and he has already mounted the engine on his old frame. We're putting gas in it. He cleaned out the needle with a torch tip cleaner, and we had it in the carburetor cleaner for a while. He's got the float bowl back on. He's putting some gas in it right now. Does this have a primer bulb?
It does not, I don't think. No, it does not.
Alright, no primer bulb. Give it a second to let the gas flow in. I know that it had a fuel filter. Got the air cleaner on it and everything. Got the blade on it.
Yep.
Belts on it.
Yep.
Oh, it's ready to go. That's the motor over there that blew up. He always said it had a rod knock, and I guess my hearing is getting so bad that I didn't hear the rod knock, and he was using it. There's another video on the channel of this motor blowing up, so he took the bottom part to take a look at it and just to see. This still is a good carburetor. We're definitely taking that off. All right, well, let's see if this thing starts up and runs with this motor.
Let's see, I plugged that back in. Yes, I did.
All right, yep, spark plug's back in. All right, a bug fogger. Yeah. It was because we had the engine upside down. I'll give it another pull and see what happens. Push down, the wheels work still. Sounds good. No knocking, right? Uh-oh, it doesn't want to cut off. That must be out of adjustment or something. So I know that one blew up, and that motor was on this frame. This motor was on a frame, and what was wrong with that frame?
frame was kind of falling apart.
Was it rusted out?
It's kind of rusted out, yeah. But it makes. But I'm gonna steal I'm gonna steal the wheels, the transmission parts. Everything else is pretty much.
Because it basically is this lawnmower, right?
It's the same thing except it's painted red.
Except it's painted red. All right, everybody. I think we're gonna leave this one here. This has been a very long video in the making. It took us a month to get back on it, but we got back on it. And what can I say? All right, well, please subscribe. You can always do that in that corner. Please give me a thumbs up if you like my automotive videos and the and more part of our videos, which is mostly lawnmowers and lawn equipment and stuff like that. All right, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you all later.